how's it going? Hopefully the microphone works. It looks like it's working. I didn't check. Part of my countdown to launch checklist that I didn't peruse today. Hopefully everybody's good. We have a couple, paintball things we can talk about. There's some news. A cool tournament that's happening, a new tank. Autocockers are full on making a comeback. And Planet Eclipse accidentally released the EMF200. Accidentally, we'll talk about that though. But without further ado, I want to thank bfpgear.com for, as they always do, taking care of this channel and sponsoring these live streams. BFP Gear, they're one of the best paintball stores. I love BFP Gear. My head is swished way over there. Let's move me over here a little bit. BFP Gear, also the sponsor of San Diego Dynasty. And they actually got these in, I think yesterday, these ended up in the store. 2 very special editions of the newish V2 Force. I really like the name of this one. Cheeto Dust Camo. It's pretty good because it kind of looks like that Cheeto dust. This one kind of gives me like I don't know. They say Fallout. Maybe it does have something to do with Fallout, and I'm just stupid and don't know too much about Fallout. Check out BFP Gear. They, got everything you want. You don't have to just buy like high-end guns. They've got all kinds of things. You can get your Exalt barrel maids there. They've got the Strike barrel swabs there from HK. And then, all kinds of stuff. Get grease and whatever. All your paintball needs can be had at bfpgear.com. Check BFP Gear out. They used to be Black Friday Paintball. That's what that stands for. So there are links in the description. Go check out BFP Gear. And, thank you, BFP Gear, for always being a patron of this paintball channel. Cole, I see you there. Why is my chat window not opened? Let's open that up. That's about better. What is happening? Nate, you're flying to DC right now. Golly, that's a heck of a far journey going from LA to DC. That doesn't sound very fun. Okay. I don't know, let's just get into something. This is happening this coming week. Let's open that up. The TXBL, the Thailand xball league. And this might be, literally one of the coolest tournaments ever. Like, it looks so good. Like, it reminds me of the MPPL. Look at how good the netting is. They have like this scaffolding kind of set up for the netting. Just looks really good. It's crazy how they have the bleachers right there. I really like how they have the bleachers on the home ends, like the start gate ends. It's going to give us a really good, or it gives the spectators at least, a really good angle on just shots and shooting at a back center. It's kind of a unique experience. Just in general, this tournament looks really good. And that's something we've seen for a long time from Asia, right? There was the Malaysian stuff for a long time. There still is the Malaysian xball league. What I'm thinking about is PALS. PALS was the Pacific Area League. I don't know what PALS stood for. Paintball Asian League? Probably. The Paintball Asia League? I don't know. But look at that. That looks like a render. Like, that legit looks like it could be a render. But this was taken just the other day. And this tournament is going to take place, where are my notes? February 21st through the 23rd. So this coming weekend in Jotham, whoops. What the heck did I just clicked something and my note went away. Jatine Beach? I don't know. It's in Pattaya, kind of like, I don't know, not central Thailand. I don't know. Thailand doesn't really, there's kind of a central, anyway. It's on the beach. It just looks fantastic. That's kind of the thing that I'm taken back by. Just look at that. You know, it looks wonderful. This is kind of one of the setups that I would like to see us play one-on-ones. I'd really like to see some one-on-ones kind of played just in an environment like this. It looks really cool. And that's really all. You know, they have 3 divisions. There's Division 1, which is, I guess, kind of like, you know, semi-pro, I guess. Division 2 and Division 3. There are only 32 teams, which doesn't seem like a lot. That's kind of why there's, you know, only one field. But the other thing as well is Asia, so they don't have the expendable income in, you know, especially in Thailand and Southeast Asia as they do, you know, here in Northern California, or even other regions of Asia like China or, you know, Korea and Japan got more money too. What's really crazy though is entry. I'm like on paintball leagues. It says that entry is only $170 to $250 or $215. So entry is just like crazy, crazy cheap, which is really kind of cool. So entry for the tournament's about $200, which is gnarly. And, you know, think locally here, we have the Capital Edge Paintball League, which is D4, D5, and that's $650 for entry. So it's crazy that you can play, you know, kind of an international, higher quality, I'd say, tournament than just the local stuff we get to play. Obviously, this Thailand xball league just looks really cool, and it looks like it should be a very, very fun experience. There's teams from all over the world, too. I mean, you get teams from, obviously, all over Asia. New Zealand and Australia is very popular for the guys to go over to Asia from there. There's some American guys. It looks really, really cool. Old Soul, $200 per person or per team? I know, it's kind of like hard to really kind of like even like think about it, right? But like, you know, right here is entry, and it's 900 Malaysian or 950 Malaysian ringgit. So I don't know why like the exchange rate on there is like weird, but it was doing this earlier where it wasn't like Google wasn't translating it, or not translating it, but converting it right away. But yeah, 950, $214.21. It's like, what? It's kind of wild, you know, where we're just used to those, you know, American or US dollar tournament prices. So it's just such a good value. That's not what I want to do. I want to go back here. And this is taken from this hotel across the street. And this hotel is only $40 a night, too. So, you know, I've always thought this. We've always thought that Europe was super expensive to go to and travel to. It was really expensive to go play NXL Europe or, you know, go travel to Asia. And, of course, those plane tickets are going to be more money if you're traveling. You know, for me, if I'm traveling to, you know, England from California, it's going to be way more expensive than it would be to go California to Florida. But the entry is about half the price. You know, everything else is typically a little bit cheaper in Europe. At least historically it used to be. Definitely Thailand is considerably cheaper. So, you know, if you guys are on a team and you know, playing the NXL, maybe you're thinking about playing one NXL tournament, maybe look at going to Europe. You know, think about maybe next year going over to Asia and taking part in the Thailand xball series, because that's going to be a much cooler and unique experience than just going to like Atlantic City or something like that. So I don't know. It's just kind of cool. I really like it. It looks goddamn fucking beautiful. I mean, look at that. It just looks so good. It just looks fantastic. DJ Rando from Tampa Bay. He's got an NXL tournament. He says you got to be careful about them women in Thailand, though, you know? It's kind of obvious. I don't know how the hell to pronounce that, but when does All That Matter come out? I'm not entirely sure when they're going to be releasing that. They did show, I believe, like a rough cut, a rough edit of it at World Cup. They did definitely do it. But I don't think that they actually like set an actual time or like a date or anything when they were actually going to release the movie, which makes sense. You know, if you don't have a hard, fast deadline for some of this stuff, especially with these movies, and like, you know, I'm editing these videos all the time. If you can sit with something and kind of like digest it and then come back and edit it more and keep looking at something, I think that could be really good for like storytelling and editing. But at the same time, you know, if you have a deadline, it actually makes you get it done. So I don't know, but I imagine pretty soon, like I would be surprised if we don't see it this year. Or I would be surprised at least if we don't see a edited, completed version at one of the like tournaments, because I presume that we will. I mean, I think that they've been working on this now 2 years at least, or something like that. DJ says, I'm so excited about Tampa Bay Open coming up. I remember being in elementary school or middle school, driving by Raymond James field trip or something. On a field trip or something, all of them years ago. That's cool. Oh, did you play paintball back then? Nate says, the new Dynasty video is awesome. Thank you, Nate. That's up for channel members right now. And we should, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be releasing that like full on. There's a couple things that I have to finish for that video, but it should be up pretty soon. And it's going to be really about like the start of San Diego Dynasty. So Dynasty played like a historic match in 2001 at the World Cup against Chicago Aftershock, where there was like some weird cheating went down, some weird sketchy calls and some weird rules. We talk about it in there. So you should actually see that like, I don't know, Tuesday, or I shouldn't say Tuesday, I should say Wednesday, most likely. Wednesday or Thursday. We also, this week, kind of got some accidental news. I'll let this play. This is the brand new Planet Eclipse gun, the EMF200. So for people that aren't aware, Planet Eclipse, we'll just tell a quick whatever. It'll help give some backstory. This thing was not supposed to be released. Planet Eclipse did have intentions to release information in about 2 or 3 months, but over on paintball.de is a German retailer, but it's actually owned by Planet Eclipse. So they were getting a video ready and some materials ready, and it ended up online. Some people saw it and it kind of spread like wildfire really fast. So Planet Eclipse just decided to kind of like pre-release the thing. So the EMF200, if you guys are familiar with the EMF100, that right there, that is the EMF100. That was, or is, or I should say was, the first and was the only mag-fed gun from Planet Eclipse. Essentially what this was, I mean, really just an EMEC with a body kit on it that allowed it to take magazines. So it was, I wouldn't say quickly cobbled together, but it has a lot of carryover parts from the other Planet Eclipse guns. Whereas the EMF200 is more of a ground up whole redesign or a whole different making of a magazine fed gun for Planet Eclipse. It's not replacing the EMF 100. It's going to sit alongside it. So the EMF 200, the base version like that right there, without the stock, so just 2 magazines and the gun, you do get that handguard though, it's going to sell for $900, roughly. I mean, you know, we've been going through this whole, are we going to go to war with Canada thing? And what am I going to do about importing products? No one knows what the hell's happening with pricing. So they say $900, but it is tentative. These are made in Taiwan, and they are imported with, Taiwan. I don't know how that's working with China tariffs. I have no idea. But it is pending deciding, I don't know, depending on how much tariffs are. But it's supposed to be $900. And that's going to be $350 more than the EMF100. But again, they're going to be selling these both at the same time. So this is kind of like the higher end version of the mag-fed guns from Planet Eclipse. And yes, let me see. Yeah, I saw they're not for sale yet, but we should probably be seeing them mid-summer is what I was told. Look for probably like June around there. One of the things that separates the EMF200 from the 100, the 100, or it should be the current EMF100, is all composite nylon. So it's all glass reinforced nylon. So the entire barrel shroud, the grip frame, the whole thing pretty much glass reinforced nylon. Whereas this, the entire upper section is aluminum. So that hand guard is aluminum. The top Picatinny rail, I'm pretty sure is aluminum. Yeah. The whole top body essentially is going to be aluminum, but the bottom half, the magazine well in the lower and the magazines are still going to be made of glass reinforced nylon. So that aluminum is going to feel a little bit nicer. And you can also see on there, on that shroud, those little holes sit there for quick releases. So if you want to put a sling really a sling, there's M-lock stuff on there. So you can put all kinds of different attachments and really slings, honestly. The EMF200, here's a big spec list of kind of everything that changed. And it's going to come with the OPR core too. So it's going to have that newer drivetrain. The same drivetrain that they have on the 180R will now be in the EMF200. The 100 has the just standard gamma core that's coming in just the standard base EMEC, or even the ETHA 3 or the ETHA 3M. Right? Yeah. So it should be, technically, it's a little bit quieter, a little easier on paint. It'll kick a little bit less. But these guns, they're pretty big and heavy. So even though that it has that new bolt system, it might shoot a little bit different, but it's not going to be as noticeable. Like when we went from the 170R to the 180R that had that new bolt system, it was pretty noticeable. But again, because these things are, heavy, it's not going to be, as dramatic or as big of an increase. The one thing that I really like, though, is if we, we'll just, I think, stop. Nope. That picture right there. It is going to come, or they are going to sell, I should say, the stock separately as well. So that stock is going to be $50 for that air-through stock. And you notice as well how the tank comes out of the back of the gun now. Whereas before, it was like that, really. You can see you had to screw the tank into the bottom of the gun, just like you did on all guns. Right here, you screw into the ASA, and you have this kind of weird big stock situation. So that's just much, much cleaner having the tank come out the back like that. It's going to be just better for those people that want that more realistic magazine fed style play. There is no feed neck on these now. So the previous gun, the 100, or I should say the less expensive one. I keep saying like the previous gun. This thing you can put a feed neck on and use in just like regular semi-auto mechanical mode if you want. So I really like the stock coming out the back. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't really know. I don't know anything about real firearms. But if we look over kind of in the middle left-hand side of this chart, it says mil spec. So I'm pretty sure somebody in the chat room, let me know. I think all of the things that say mil spec can be replaced with real firearm things. So how it says AR style, mil spec AR style pistol grip, or mil spec AR style magazine release. I think you can replace that with actual real gun parts. I'm right. I think we're right. Chat room says we're good. So I think you can, you can replace that with all like real stuff. So I know it means military specification, but I don't know if that means, what the fuck does that mean? So yeah, like you can put Magpul parts on there or whatever, right? Yeah. Which is cool. You can make it ambidextrous. So it means you can like flip around whichever side you want, like to do the mag release or the safety on as well. What's it say? Authentic touch points, which means everything's like the real size. So when you like hold like a real AR-15, apparently the magazine release and the safety like selector switch are all the exact same distance with the real firearm compared to these things, which is kind of cool. I really like how it's like more vertical. The grip, like the trigger frame, just looks more like vertical, which I like a lot. It's kind of hard to see on these images, but if I like, we can do that, yeah. So see like right above my head, there's that like circle button, like right there. Like I could be like, I could like push it. It's metal. You can see it how it like shimmers or whatever. That's actually a pops on off. So you can actually push that button and you can like turn the air on and off, which is really, really cool. There's not another magazine fed gun that I can think of that's like that. Jesus, I zoomed in a lot. That pops is just really cool. It's really kind of a clever situation right there. They have new magazines. The the CF200, the CF20 Pro are the new magazines. We can see them right there. But what's really kind of neat is these work on the EMF200, they work in like a 2-stage. So one of the problems with magazines is like, I have a gun over here, but they'll like kick me off the internet. One of the things that's kind of sucks about magazine fed guns is like, as soon as you put the magazine in there, the paintball loads in and the spring puts pressure really hard, and then it can like flatten the paintballs, or weird stuff can happen if you leave like the magazine loaded into the gun with paint for a long time. So what's kind of neat about these is they're like a 2-stage kind of load system. You can pop it in and it just kind of sits there and rattles around. So it's not loose, but you can have the magazine in the gun. So you could be walking around or whatever. And then when you're ready to play, you can clip it in one more and then the magazine's fully seated in there. I really like that. I think that the magazine fed players are probably also kind of going to like that, like new magazine system, because it kind of gets rid of one of the problems that magazine fed guns have. Someone was saying it was a 16-inch barrel. Oh, it is a 16-inch. So a 16-inch S63, which is interesting, right? They've all been like 15 and a half. So it's weird to, or no, 14 and a half. So 16 is interesting. Right? Yeah. It's cool. I like it. I know that the magazine fed players, there's not a ton of mag fed people out there. Yeah. But these guns are amazing. I mean, the EMF100 is so good that the EMF200 is even cooler. What are you guys talking about? Oh, that's true. That someone said something about that trigger guard. It is a hinged... That's not what I wanted. It is kind of a hinged trigger guard, too. You can take off the trigger guard. I don't know if I'd say hinged, or I don't know what that's called. But you certainly can. I mean, you can kind of see the two screw marks on there. Not screw marks, but the spot where there's like two screws, one in the front and back. You can remove the trigger guard. I think that's one of the things that they like put on their mil-spec. Yeah. Mil-spec AR style trigger guard. It looks really nice. I like it. That's pretty cool. think I've said that like 15 times. You can adjust the trigger. I don't know how adjustable the trigger is, but I know that there are 2 adjustment points. I'm not sure what that means. A double trigger. Yeah, I don't know. Could you? I mean, you could definitely probably take off the trigger guard and put a double trigger in there. And yeah, you could do it. You could make like some wacky loopy trigger guard that was kind of like the Tippmann A5. The Tippmann A5 of trigger guards. The double trigger kit for the A5. Well, you could do a trigger shoe too. Oh, is it lever operated too? I know they said that they've redesigned the 3-way. I wasn't quite sure what happened though, but I do know they redesigned the 3-way. I think that's just because of the way it like wants to fit in the gun. They had to like remount it, or I don't know, do something interesting. It's cool though. Make sure to like the live stream. If you guys are here hanging out, make sure to like the live stream. Give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to keep making this smaller. Like the live stream. I know there's like at least 15 of you here. We could get at least 15. Come on. At least 15. Just close it really fast and hit the like button. Come back. Minimize, you know, if you're on your phone. So many people are on their phones. It's so easy to do on a phone. Cole, I just want to know if this means there will be an EMF200. Probably not. Or version 2 or something. Probably not. DJ. Some of you guys are giving the likes. Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I think that mainly because, like, we kind of have that already, right? I mean, we kind of have that in the EMF, not the EMF, the Ether 3M. The Ether 3M is kind of like the version 2 of this thing, right? Because they're not replacing the EMF100. They're like, you know, just made like a better version of it, right? So that's kind of what they did with the Ether 3M, is that they had the EMEC, and we just kind of like, you know, made a little bit better version of it. And then if you want a little bit better version of that, you know, you can buy the 180R in the mechanical frame. And if you want a better version of that, you know, you can buy a CS3. Yeah. Although, you know, it would be fun to see a new version of the EMEC or something like that. And we might in the next couple years, but I would be surprised if we see one like this year. Because a lot of these like entry-level-ish, you know, inexpensive guns, we typically do see for a long time. You know, think about how old the Tippmann 98 is. You know, the 98's like ancient. It's never really changed. See the same thing, you know, with the Mini GS. It's practically been the same gun for like, geez, I don't know, 15 years. So, yep. Make sure to like the live stream. God damn it. We got a smoke machine. Although it's kind of hidden over there, so it might look like it's creepy. It might start just creeping up around the edges. Pineapple says, is the DM15 good? Yeah, I mean, they're not bad. You know, I guess it probably matters what we're like comparing it to, but you know, they're not bad. You know, whatever. Grumpy Plumber commenting late. The EMF200 double trigger would have to work like an AR trigger setup. Fun fact, there is a rocker double trigger for the AR-15s. That sounds like a bump stock. I don't know what a bump stock is. Huh. I know it's way different. Yeah, I don't know. We've never seen inside of this thing yet, so it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, it does take like, they do say it takes like the AR parts and all that stuff, huh? There it is right there. But it doesn't say like AR. Fuck, I don't know. I have no idea. Where does it say anything? Where does it say the trigger? I know it says, there you go. I know. Adjustable trigger. Single finger hinge frame. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I watched very, very briefly Jack Wood. They did a video and he showed removing all the internals and stuff. And that was pretty cool too. How you actually remove the internals. So it's like a quick release system to remove the internals, which was kind of cool. See how Stream Elements is like the stream. Even that thing. Pineapple, like the pineapple that played at Mare Island? I think of like Pineapple Prods, whatever that guy was. Yep. What do we got here? Let's see. What else can I talk about? What else do we have prepared? You can do this. You can go, you know, check out the Paintball Ruined My Life store and buy some headbands. They're over there. They're $30, $75 for a 2-pack. No, 2-pack. $75 for a 3-pack. I just noticed that picture's upside down. The like Paintball Ruined My Life one. It's like the text is flipped. Yep. Head over there. You can get headbands. There's barrel covers. There's some hats, some t-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of like, you know, Paintball Ruined My Life merch. You know, you help support this channel. It certainly helps support these, you know, live streams. Because, yeah, all this shit takes time. Paintball videos. There's that new Dynasty Aftershock video coming out. There's 3 packs of barrel covers, too. You know, they're pretty cheap. Paintball Ruined My Life. There's also this. I think I'm going to start using Blue Sky. We've talked about, like, I don't know, at least I've talked about, like switching over to some of these different social media networks that are, like, decentralized. And, you know, Blue Sky is not decentralized. I was thinking about Mastodon, but, you know, I don't fucking know. There's the Blue Sky one. Oh, burritos, dude. I'd do some burritos. Blue Sky's cringe. You know what's cringe? The whole goddamn fucking internet. Yeah, I just don't, you know, what I've always worried about is like, everyone just deleting everything, you know, like Instagram or YouTube or, you know, Gmail. Like, imagine if Google just deleted your account. Like, I'd be like at a loss. If Google deleted my account, that would mean like my YouTube channel gets deleted, my AdSense account's gone, all my Gmail, like everything's gone. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. So I really like the idea of some of these decentralized social media things. I think it's kind of like a good idea. So I don't know. I truly, truly like it. And I don't know if anything could get more cringe than like Twitter or whatever the hell we call that nonsense. All social media is crap. Go outside. I'm with you on that. Although, do we consider YouTube social media? Because we don't really use it in the same way. You know, at one point I wanted YouTube to add messaging. Thank God they never added messaging. I don't even think I posted anything on Blue Sky. No, I did. I posted a picture just to, like, you know, see if it worked. Yeah. Merch? Go buy merch. 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 Help support your local paintball person. Is this messaging, Cole? I guess so, kinda. That's true. I guess in fairness it is. This is, not really. I guess this is kind of out of left field. I can't remember. I think that somebody told me about this and I completely forgot. What Where is it at? War Game Products. If you guys are familiar with paintball stuff at all, War Game Products, WGP, was a company started by Bud Orr. Bud Orr is, he's the inventor of the Autococker. So Bud Orr invented the Autococker and started War Game Products to sell Autocockers. War Game Products is, dude, I don't know. They've had like 14 owners. Super confusing. But Gene over at autocockerparts.com is kind of reinventing or bringing back WGP. WGP, yeah, they're coming back and releasing select products, right? Like right now, nothing is for sale. They've just kind of shown a handful of these pictures, and I presume we'll have parts and stuff fairly soon. What we're seeing here, though, are those vertebrae bodies. These were very popular. I couldn't tell you the year. Somebody give me a year. Oh, that's a good point. Are the new bodies 11/16ths? I don't know. So I'm just forgetting the numbers off the top of my head. We have the 11/16ths valve, and then what's the other size? What's the smaller one? 11/16ths is the big one, right? Let me know. I'll keep my eyes out. Yep, they're coming out with, they will be selling those bodies right there. 9/16ths, thank you. 9/16ths and 11/16ths. Yeah, I don't know. I assumed that they would be bigger valves. I don't know though. I don't know what they would do. It's a good question. It didn't even dawn on me until you asked. There are some bodies. They kind of, I think, are going to do these. That's the Oracle, I'm pretty sure. I'm so bad at my Autococker bodies because, I'm not a freak. Autococker bodies. The Oracle, was that like a fastback? Did they call that? The fastback? I remember that they had that logo always like fell off. That jewel sticker always fell off on the body. But they're coming back. It's just kind of cool to have one of the real iconic paintball brands, WGP Wargame products coming back. Yep. They have some trigger frames that they showed pictures of that I do not have photos of here, and for some reason. We are in a gluttony. Not a gluttony, we are in a the Fastback Black Magic. Okay, there we go. I was like, it looks like the Black Magic, but someone was saying fast or Fastback too. Oh, it didn't. Oh, that's right. Okay. It didn't have the sight rail, which is why that doesn't have a sight rail on it. Yeah, I don't know. I just never really got like super into cockers, like right when I started playing, like 2000, late 2001, I started playing late 2001, and I don't know, it seemed like that's right when all these electric guns started coming out, and they were just far, far more popular, and I bought an Angel back then, and that's super wide. How about we just go with that? I bought an Angel back then, and then the rest was history. I think I had an Autococker at that point. I had an Autococker, though, before the LCD, and the thing fucking sucked. It goddamn thing never worked. Like, I couldn't get it to work more than like 20 minutes. I mean, it would work like half of a game and then just shit out. And mainly because it was an Autococker, and you Autococker guys know how like those guns can be like a little weird and like finicky. So they take a little bit more effort to get working, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing back then. So, it was like 98% probably my fault. But nowadays I can time a cocker with my eyes closed and a hand tied behind my back. Chris Martin, which cocker did you have? back then, it was just like a 2K1 or 2K right feed body or whatever. It was nothing special. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what like internals or like, I don't have any idea about that stuff. I really don't remember. That thing, I hated that gun. So I did not have that for very long. Like I said, I couldn't even play paintball with it. Old Soul, until you have to solder the board back together. There you go. The Bell Sales Evolutions were cool. Yeah, for sure. I had one of those. I mean, I've had a lot of the cockers throughout the years, really. Owning the paintball store, you know, we were buying and selling and trading stuff so much that I guess they were technically mine, you know, but never really like, you know, been like, this is my new paintball gun. Justin Ski says, I made Austin's Paintball Mart amateur team with an autococker. Austin's Paintball Mart. I like Paintball Mart. The thing was rock solid for me. I ran over the kids with the intimidators and angels. I could not do that. Mine just didn't goddamn... I couldn't shoot goddamn paintballs. It was not so easy for me. We got one other thing we can talk about. Maybe two. I don't know. I'm too zoomed. I got like this. That's better. Let's too zoom. That's probably about right. We've got... These aren't so exciting. They're kind of cool though, because it's been I don't like how these pictures are like not scaled right either. Look at all the blank space above the tank. I don't like it. There's like a little bit below it, and there's like this big amount of space. So I don't know the entire story behind this, and my memory is so bad that I've just forgotten, really. But for a very long time, there were two kind of standards. There's kind of two international standards that are followed for tanks. There's the Department of Transportation here in North America, which essentially is good for the United States. And then there's ISO, which is an international certification that is essentially good for everywhere. The ISO bottles can be used in North America and in Europe. And now, this last 2 years, I believe, they're working on there's been like a new standard that allows for a different spec bottle to be made. So they've made it so that they can allow the walls to be thinner, use a little bit less carbon fiber, and that standard works all over the freaking world. So one thing we've seen in that was the HK Army Alpha tanks. Those Alpha tanks have been out for, I don't know, right? What, 6 months, 5 months, somewhere in there? And comparatively to the other lighter tanks that HK had, or really everybody has, those Alpha tanks were about, I don't know, let's say 15 to 20% lighter. A substantial difference. I mean, you really do feel it when you pick up those tanks. You also notice how smaller they are in size because they have that wall thickness on the bottle that's just thinner. It just makes the overall tank smaller. And finally, we're seeing another manufacturer use this standard. So Infamous are releasing their brand new Hyperlight tanks that are only coming in at 68 right now. They're going to sell for $189 and $329 with the Infamous Powerhouse regulators. So $190 for just the tank, or $320 with a regulator, which is similar to the HK Army prices. The HK Army are selling their Alpha bottle that's using this same kind of technology for $180 or $289 with their like Aerolite 2 Pro regulators. So expensive tanks, but you're also getting something, right? They're extremely lightweight. There's obviously tanks out there that are about $100 cheaper that do the exact same thing. They're just going to be, just heavier. One of the things you probably that's kind of notable is that HK are actually selling them in larger sizes too. They have a 68, a 77, and an 88. And right now, Infamous only have the 68. One of the things too we also see from a lot of tank companies is they use different molds. So depending on the manufacturer, they'll use a different mold. So that's why we're seeing tanks that are shaped a little bit differently. And I'm not 100% sure, but I would believe that Infamous are using the same manufacturer to make these Hyperlight bottles as HK Army are. So if we've seen those HK tanks, they kind of have a squarish bottom. They're not like super round like we're used to. These kind of look a little bit round and a little bit square. But until we see these, we won't actually know if they're like square butt or whatever, like those HK tanks. But it's just cool that they're finally kind of getting that new standard out. And we've got lighter tanks because of it. The HK Army Hyperlight. And they do have other Hyperlight tanks too. So this isn't like a brand new product. They actually have Hyperlight before that. So it's kind of hard to figure out which one's which. There's a dog barking. I guess I'll reload my coffee. It's already 5 o'clock. I have a 25-year-old 3A 115 tank. I use my caulkers and mags. Yeah, 114 is fucking crazy. I mean, nowadays the guns are efficient enough where you don't really need to carry around a 114. Thank God. I don't think I've owned a tank bigger than like a... Yeah, I've never had anything bigger than an 80. I had like the... What did I have that was the 80? An Empire tank that was an 80. Are the featherweights follow the spec? Nope, just their new like Hyperlight. The Featherlights are just like going to be their kind of normal bottles. That's why they should, I don't know the Infamous prices off the top of my head, but they should reflect that in the price. They should be a little bit, like the featherweight ones should be a little bit more expensive. Damn, it's going down. I hear sirens and a helicopter. I have all this like noise compression on, so you guys can't hear anything. Maybe you can hear it in the background. I turn the noise compression and then it just goes away. Noise compression. It's not really noise compression, is it? Whew. They found my lab. You're making something silly putty. I don't know. I don't know. You can make silly putty. Is it a noise gate? Is it a gate technically? How about noise suppression? Because I don't know if it's a gate. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know shit about noise. I don't know shit about noise. I don't know anything about audio. What else can we talk about? I don't know. I think that's those are all the topics that I have to talk about. You know, I was kind of thinking about talking about Tampa again, but I don't know. Tampa Open, it's coming up almost a month. Not a month. We've got like 3 weeks or whatever. It's Confa Cup was postponed. Inter Miami and Sporting KC will play their Championship Cup first leg on Wednesday instead of Tuesday because of snow. Okay. Yeah, someone asked about paint prices in Malaysia. I don't have any idea. I saw that and then I like, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I imagine that like it's cheap, right? It's gotta be. I mean, everything's cheap in Malaysia. You know, they're charging $200 for entry to the whole goddamn tournament. I mean, I imagine paint's like $30. I don't know. Let's see if we can go to the Thailand xball league and see what happens. I mean, here's their Facebook page. I'm curious about, like, if they had any, like, if they have, like, sponsors or anything. Try to see what brand of paint they use, because I don't know. But that doesn't mean, I might not even know anyway, because, I mean, there's so many of these, like, small, like, smaller, I gotta log in. I'm not logged into Facebook, and I can't log in right now. There's so many of these like smaller, like, you know, paint companies from all over the place. It's, you know, you can start a paint company tomorrow. All you gotta do is order a skid from China and then call it whatever you want and you got a paint company. I don't know about ordering paint from China though. We wonder about like Mexico tariffs and the HK Army. You know, HK Army's been doing their like $25 paint for I don't know, like a year now, and they're going to do it again this year. $25 cases in NXL tournaments, but I don't know. I mean, if they get tariffed a bunch, they probably won't be able to do that anymore. Well, that would kind of suck. But I also kind of feel that like HK, I don't think that there's a tariff on those things either. I was trying to figure out like what products are tariffed and stuff like that. I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't figure it out. So I can't imagine being a business. This makes it very easy, you know, not knowing how much you can sell stuff for. It's got to be like a nightmare. Infamous are doing Infamous doing $25 paint too. With the Infamous Volcanium or whatever the fuck it's called, right? Infamous Volcanium. And that stuff's made by ProShar, so I don't know where ProShar makes their stuff. I need ProShar used to be like a Eastern, like European brand or something like that. I mean, they were big in Europe forever, but I'm not 100% sure where ProShar are from. Somebody let me know in the chat room. Maybe someone knows in the chat. Let's just go search ProShar paintballs. ProShar paintballs. Still the Europeans' largest paint company. Oh, that's right. They have this like solid black ball now too, which is crazy. Let's see, where the hell's the 3-1 country code? 3-1 country code. The Netherlands, huh? The Netherlands. That's just a random building they're in. This is what I'm talking about. Where in the fuck is this? Yeah, I was like, Karjagast. I'm like, isn't it just Kyrgyzstan? I was like, anyway. Yeah, I don't know where. I don't know. Did they make it in the Netherlands too? Huh. Dealers, USA. Okay. Certificates. So this is like the MDFs, yeah. Here's what's in our paintballs thing. Huh. Okay. All right, speaking, talking in Russian. Now I don't speak Russian, so, you know, all right. One of the stands is a former... What the heck does the USSR stand for? The United States Soviet Russia. That's what it's going to be now. Cool, love that shirt. Does it glow in the dark? Nope. That would be cool if it did, though. I've had this shirt for a long time. I never really wear it. I probably only worn it like 10 times. Soviet Socialist Republic. Okay. I'll forget that in 15 seconds. Do I believe in aliens? Sure. Who doesn't believe in aliens? Do I believe aliens have visited Earth? No, I do not. Nope. I am 100% on board with believing aliens have never come to Earth. You know, I just don't understand it. I mean, I think that a lot of... It's very difficult for us to, like, comprehend the vastness of space and that stuff. And I just don't, you know, I don't know. I want to believe, you know, I was I don't know if I ever believed in aliens. I don't think I ever believed in aliens, but definitely done my research. Anyway, enough about aliens. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll talk about it. Give me some topics. Scully. Brad needs a Scully. I'd take a Scully. What's her name in real life? I don't know. Gillian Anderson. Dana Scully. Dude, I loved the X-Files. I mean, I was like full on in when the X-Files was on TV. I would watch it, you know, when it was on, like back in like 98 or whatever the hell it was. I don't remember what year it was. I've seen X-Files multiple times all the way through. I remember getting X-Files DVDs when I was like, I don't know, 18 or 17 or some shit like that. I remember getting it for Christmas. I was all about it. Although, you know, the part that intrigues me more was less about like the aliens. I really liked the like government conspiracy parts, like where like they'd talk to the smoking guy and stuff like that. I really liked that stuff. That was like always intriguing to me. I always liked like the CIA and like special operations and like that kind of shit was always like intriguing to me. I always liked that part. Sleepy Invader. Do you think paint prices will begin to drop like they are in the NXL? No, because like people in the NXL, when they're selling paint for $25, I mean, they're maybe breaking even. So I would argue that when HK Army sells paint for $25 a case, they're probably losing money. You know, because in reality, that paint probably costs like... I bet HK make it for like $14 to $14-ish. We'll say $14-ish to manufacture the case, right? So when it comes off the line, they have to hand over $14 for every case to whoever's manufacturing it. And then they got to account for like all the other stuff, right? They got to account for the employees. They got to account for that big ass fucking truck they got to pay to drive it across the country to the tournament. You know, they got to pay for product liability insurance. They got to like do all this other stuff that plumps onto that cost that, you know, probably ends up making it be $25 a case at a tournament or something like that. So, yep. And I don't think paint's that expensive in the first place, so I don't know. I don't really think that lowering paint costs is really going to make any type of difference on whether paintball's popular or not. You know, I think that obviously paint prices right now are better for paintball than they were 25 years ago. You know, paint used to be $70 a case. I mean, when I started playing, you know, cheap paint was $50 a case. And if you wanted paint that came out of the gun straight, you had to spend $80 to $100. And now, I mean, you can, you know, spend $45 and $50 and the stuff's pretty good. And I don't think we can really get that much cheaper. I mean, you got to think that you're buying 2,000 of something, you know. 2,000 of something is not like, you know, it's a lot of something. So, yeah. And I don't think that, you know, making paint, you know, say at the local paintball field, you know, we make the paint half the price now. I don't really think that more people are playing paintball, because I don't think that $20 is what's making the difference between people playing paintball and not, you know. And if it is, like, that person shouldn't probably be playing anyway, you know, if it's that big of a cost prohibitive thing for them. Yeah, I mean, I remember having to, everybody shot Marbleizer, you know, 2001, 2002, like, everybody just shot Marbleizer, and it was like $80 a case, or fucking $90 or whatever. And the paint's just way, way cheaper now. I mean, you know, we could argue if it was better or worse back then, but there's no question that it's cheaper, and the cheaper paint is also way better. Yeah. Marbleizer came in 2,500 round boxes. I thought it was, oh no, 25. Yeah, you're right. I was like thinking of 1,500 rounds or something like that, for sure. Remember, like, the old, this was like 2001, the like briefcase boxes, like Imperial, no, not Imperial. There was Hellfire. What was below Hellfire? Some brains too. Yeah, I remember. I was going to say 2 bags. I remember that too. But this was before I started playing. There was Hellfire, and there was something right below it. Midnight, but Midnight was like way down. Midnight was like the cheapest one. Inferno? Was it Inferno? Inferno, Nick just said. Remember when it came in like those briefcases? It came in a box that was like this big. It was huge, and it was like this thin. It was like the size of a briefcase. And they'd like put 4 bags of paint in like this briefcase thing. It had a handle. It's kind of funny. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to find. It ain't going to happen. I don't know. It was kind of funny. The suitcase boxes went by color of the paint logo. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Now they're using like different fill and stuff. I don't know what the fill is. The fill the last like tournament ball they were using at the NXL was so bright. That stuff was crazy bright. It showed up really, really well on camera. It was pretty cool to see. Why don't we have people like the live stream? Give the live stream a like. If you're here right now, just make sure to like the live stream. It's super helpful. It's a very easy thing to do for you here. DD says, paint cost is definitely a cause of why paintball isn't popular. How can a kid go and play every weekend if paint costs $80 plus fees? Yeah, I know. It depends on what we're talking about, though. You know, like, I don't... Because it's weird, right? I mean, the variance in costs is odd in paintball, though, too, right? Like, here in Sacramento, right? Like, I can go to a bunch of different paintball fields within like, you know, like an hour-ish or something like that. And it's like $65 to $70 for a case of paint, entry and air, you know? So That's not bad, I don't think. I think that at that point, you know, they're not gonna, I don't think they can make it much cheaper. If it was like $55, you know, it would, like, you know, that's not that big of a difference. I hear you on $80 a case though, because it's weird, right? Like, that case of paint is not $80, you know? It's like, I don't know. It does get odd. I hear you on that, for sure. If it was 65 or whatever for entry and paint everywhere, that would probably be better, and we would probably see more people playing than if it was like, you know, like in your case or that case, it's like $120 to play versus like 75 or 65. I mean, that's a substantial difference for sure. Definitely right about that. Yeah. It's just so weird. I mean, it's like if we were, you know, I don't know. It's just the pricing is all over the goddamn place. Some of these fields. I mean, some of the indoor fields are charging like $100 a piece. It's like, fuck. I guess. What are we saying, dude? You factor in inflation to what costs? I don't know. We're something about fucking eggs. We're gonna talk about eggs too. Fucking eggs are like 89 cents a piece now. I mean, I used to eat like 7 or 8 eggs a day, and I can't eat 8 eggs a day now. I mean, I can't spend $7 on just eggs every day. Like, that's insane. that's like crazy. So yeah, I don't eat eggs anymore. I've substituted it with bacon, which I don't know if that's better or worse. Ever play at Fairfield Extreme Sports? Yeah, I haven't been to Fairfield Extreme in a very long time though. I mean, it's been like, I don't know, years since I've been to Fairfield. I think a lot of people do go there. I mean, I don't know if I'll say a lot, but you know, at one point there were a bunch of tournament teams going there. I don't know how many people are going out to Fairfield now. I really have no idea. I mean, it's been so long since I've gone anywhere other than Capital Edge that I just kind of go to Capital Edge all the time. Bill, it's about 96 for a case. Entry in air my way. Completely agree on standardizing pricing would help. For sure, but it's hard to, like, you know, tell businesses what they can sell stuff for, so you can't be like, you know, you gotta sell it for $40, and they're like, but our overhead's $50, and I'm like, sorry. Yeah. We just always talk about, like, paintball being cheaper, and it's like, I don't know, man, because there's plenty of sports and things that are just way more expensive than paintball that people do way more than paintball, so it's like, it can't be just pricing, you know. There's got to be other things that can be done or whatever to make paintball a little more popular. But that is true. That's one of the things that's popular about airsoft is that, you know, airsoft, you can, obviously, airsoft's way cheaper. I mean, you can buy, like, you know, fucking 4,000 BBs for, like, literally, like, $10. That's way cheaper. And it's just so much easier to, like, clean up. I mean, shit, everything can be expensive. Manuel says golf can be pricey. Sure, like scuba diving and motocross and fucking hockey and all kinds of, you know, things can be expensive. Any of the sports that, like, require, like, equipment can be expensive. Even sports that don't require equipment can be expensive. Around in my local course is like $100. You know, I have no idea how much golf costs around here. I mean, you know, I assume we could get, like, I could play 18 for like $60 or $50. But that's not counting, you know, equipment costs too, which are probably about on par with paintball. You know, you can get golf clubs for, you know, a couple $100 you can get a set of golf clubs for, but then you could also, you know, probably spend a couple $1,000 easy if you want. DD, we need $50 case max. If you want to grow the sport, these companies are making at least 300% profit. Other sports started off cheap and have been around a long time. You need You need to grow the sport. I need to grow the sport. Why is it on me? Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if paint was $50 a case, but, you know, margins definitely not making 300% profit. That's for goddamn sure. I assure you on that. Because that $50 case, you know, I know you didn't mean me, but that's what it says. Because it's like, you know, I owned a paintball store, so I know all the pricing and stuff. That's why I guess it like $15-ish to $14 to manufacture a case in Mexico. It could be cheaper in Mexico. I mean, you got to think that like, the like Valken stuff is all made in the US, so the costs are obviously going to be a little bit more for the Valken stuff. Or even stuff from China, you know. I mean, they got to put it on a container. They got to get a refrigerated container to ship it over here. So, I mean, that's expensive. And the paint's made in Mexico. You just, you know, put it on a truck and ship it over the border. It's just cheaper. But yeah, if paint's $50, you know, or you got to think about the paintball fields, right? I mean, the paintball fields are buying at, you know, a cost as well. So like if it costs HK $15, HK is not selling the paint for $50 a case though. Because most of the paint that HK sells is to dealers, right? They're selling it directly to paintball fields. They're selling it to paintball stores or whatever. So they have their dealer pricing, which honestly, on the cheap paint, it's about $23 to $25. And on the high-end paint, like they're selling at the tournaments, if you're just buying it at typical cost and typical like pricing, it's probably like $32 to $30-ish a case. So margins on that stuff is typically like, on like high-end paint, it's probably like 40 to 50-ish%, somewhere in there. The margins are definitely higher on like high-end paint, that's for sure. And HK does sell paint, you know, directly sometimes to people, but most of the time it's through like dealers. So like, you know, everybody's kind of making 40-ish to 30 to 40%, I'd say. But obviously, if, you know, some of these paintball fields are making more, because like I said, you know, some of the indoor fields are selling paint for like $100 a case. And when they're buying it for, you know, 25 or $30 a case and selling it for 100, you know, that's pretty good. That's a good margin. But all they're doing is like kind of subsidizing entry or whatever. You know, they're paying, rather than paying $45 for entry is $25, but paint's $20 more or whatever. So, yep. We also got to think that like none of these paintball stores or fields or businesses, you know, none of them are, no one's like super rich. It's not like, you know, like everyone's poor. I mean, when you compare like, you know, paintball businesses to other businesses, and no one makes any goddamn money. So it's not like people are getting rich by overcharging, you know, for paint. I think most of the time they're charging that much because they have to. Right? I mean, they're overhead and you got to pay employees and taxes and all kinds of fucking shit. Anyway, I wish paint was cheaper too. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I think we've kind of like squeezed out all the pennies that can be squeezed out of it. Yeah, I mean, we could be having crypto scams, you know? Trump just scammed a bunch of crypto people like 50 times more than the entire paintball industry is worth. Sewing machines probably have better margin. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Wow, was there a Hormesis coin? That'd be crazy. Sorbet. I don't know, you said Hormesis coin, but in a bad way. So not like Coin Duel. Damn, that would be crazy if there was like a Hormesis coin. I mean, I could literally see them doing that though. I don't know, it's kind of scammy. But I could see, well, fuck, who knows? Nowadays, everyone's scamming everybody. So, who knows? But that'd be pretty bad. I'd be the first guy to be like, don't buy Hormesis coin. They're just pumping it. It's a pump and dump. Don't do it. Adrenaline is taking a year to send my 2 markers out. Not just me, but hundreds of people. Probably not hundreds, because I don't even know if they've made hundreds. Are they? I don't even know. I don't even know. How many are they even selling? I mean, they're definitely selling hundreds, though. You're definitely right, but I mean, I guess so. Yeah, it is taking a while. I was gonna say 750. They're making 600. Yeah, I don't even know, man. I mean, I know the one that I got, the one that I had was like, it was like the first one they made almost. It was like the 5th gun or something crazy like that. So I had mine like way early. But I also like knew about it before they released it in a way, because we were gonna do like a sponsored video the whole time. So, you know, they're very nice. It does kind of suck though. I know, I just saw the new Free Flow MXR too. That thing's cool. Honestly though, I mean, I could see wanting, out of all those guns, out of the R5 and the Shredder and the new Free Flows, like I could see wanting the R5 more, because I mean, Planet Eclipse just historically, you know, they just make historically better guns. But the Adrenaline, I would much rather have the Adrenaline over the MXR or the Shredder, 'cause it's, you know, just an idol too. But the Adrenaline's far more interesting and custom than the Shredder for sure. Or the MXR. Yeah, but it does kind of suck if you have to wait a freaking year. I mean, I wouldn't want to wait a year. I'd be like, dude, I want to go plug and play paintball. Sorbet, I live streamed a paintball tournament yesterday and it did not go according to plans, but I'm excited to try again. Okay. I don't know. Cool. I can't, live streaming at the paintball field is so hard because, yeah, it's just, there's no service, so it's always kind of wonky. I mean, there's service, but it's not like, you know, the greatest. It's like in the middle of nowhere. $7,000 Canadian. What did you buy? Did you get the gold-plated one? There's that gold-plated one that's fucking crazy. I think that they sold that one for like 7,000 or some crazy-ass number. Who is buying MacDev? Like, who is purchasing their paintball guns? Or is MacDev the company for sale? And Dwibble says, would the Dye M3 Plus still compete? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's still, you know, pro paintball players that use those today. So for sure, they're good. I mean, Red Legion's using them. Aftershock were using them last year. Maybe not. Maybe they were just on DSR Plus only though. For sure, some of the Red Legion guys were using it. So yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, anything made in like the last 15 years is fine. Let's go like 10 years. Yeah. You go 10 years back, you're probably still good. That's what I'm going to say. R. Crumb, what's this says? He's, I'd love to know how much of the current paintball industry is nostalgia driven. 25-plus-year-old dudes from the golden age versus new people or single-time players. Average age is way higher now. For sure. I mean, I would say that average age is way higher. Yeah. I'm thinking about it. I would say that the average age is way higher. Like if we look back to like 25, what do you say, 25 years ago? So let's just say 2000 to make it easy, which is 25 years ago. 2000. For sure. I'm trying to like think about it. So like, I think that in general, right, is what happens too with paintball is that like, I think it's, you know, people that are younger are more attracted to it, right? Like it's more attracting to younger players. So like, you know, 20s, whatever, 18, 25, I don't know, you know, people in there. So it's going to be more attracting to those people. But I think what's also happened is like a lot of the older players kind of stick around. So whereas in 2000, we didn't really have players from 25 years ago, right? I mean, those people didn't really exist. I mean, like, sure, there were people around playing in 2000 that played in the 80s, but like not a lot of them. I mean, how many people played in the 80s? You know, 20? Whereas like 25 years ago, a lot of people were playing. And I think that a lot of people, those people stuck around, or some of those people have stuck around. But while at the same time, I also think that we've had a harder time keeping those players. Whereas like in 2000, a good portion of the paintball players were people playing often, right? Like, I want to say that like these are the actual numbers. I think I'm trying to remember, but I think that like if we go back 25 years, something like 10 to 15% of people playing paintball every year were people that played often, right? Like once a month, or they were actual paintball players, right? Whereas the other, you know, 80-ish% or whatever were people renting equipment, or people at birthday parties, or, you know, whatever. And nowadays, it's far less people playing regularly, but we have like more birthday party people playing, right? So there's more people renting equipment now than there were 20 years ago, 25, but there's less people regularly playing. So if we look at like the overall numbers of people playing paintball now compared to 25 years ago, the numbers are probably the same, but there's far more people that are just renting one time rather than buying equipment and then playing every other weekend or whatever. And this is one of the things that I say is that I think that the industry kind of went the wrong direction, right? I think that when we were at that time in the year 2000, right when airball was taking off and the tournament scene was really kind of exploding, I think that it was probably a good idea by the industry to help foster that and help create this tournament scene, because it's one of the things that, like, you know, interest me in playing paintball, probably interests a lot of you guys, that like next level of competition. But I think that focusing too much on that has also been a bad thing. I think that that's one of the reasons that we don't have as many newer players playing consistently, right? We're having, you know, older people that are playing more consistent. I think that the industry focused too much on that tournament stuff, whereas maybe we should have focused more on, you know, just having a good time. And this paintball, let's just, you know, have fun and play paintball, right? Let's just play pickup games, and let's just like create a more fun atmosphere and a more inclusive atmosphere that like includes like all types of paintball players and all types of people, right? You can be, you know, super unathletic, you can be, you know, 70 years old, and you can still play paintball. Whereas this tournament stuff that the industry has kind of like encouraged is more geared toward that specific young, fast, like tournament style player. And that format kind of excludes like a big swath of people. Yep. I don't know. So I think that that's all. I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah. Because paintball is definitely one of those sports where it's very like, it's participation based, right? Like, we really need like rando rec people to be playing paintball, like just random people like me, right? Just going and playing once a month at the local paintball field, or, you know, whatever, and not like trying to force me into playing tournaments, because I don't want to fucking play tournaments, dude. I got no desire to do that shit. Like, zero whatsoever. Yep. Anyone try that Xfog fan? Nope, I don't know. I have never tried a fan that works. I remember 90s through the 2000s, we played a lot of Rec Woods, and the guys into the parks and speedball would just mock us at school. I never understood it, and we did it for fun and to make friendships. For sure. And, you know, a lot of the tournament players, they just want to be cool too, so, you know, they just think they're cooler, so they got to make fun of you. That's all. Bill says, when airball was exploding 2000s, they should have formed local leagues like any other sport organized into seasons with teams that played each other. These have been feeders into the major tournaments. Yeah, it's probably true. I know they've kind of tried it, but I don't know. Yeah, I just wish that somehow it was like something different. You know, I don't know really what the answer is. I just think that forcing tournaments is like, you know, probably not the greatest way to do it. Forcing tournament paintball on people. It's a little. I wish I didn't have that desire. It's too internally competitive. I don't give a shit about tournaments now. I just want to like go out there and have fun. Like, you know, it's kind of like dick around. Arcrom, I totally agree with what you're saying. That's good. Having returned to the sport a couple years ago, the resurgence of mech was encouraging to see as a middle ground between xball and the beta parties. For sure. And it's not like I'm like, don't want to play tournaments. I guess I just don't want to play like current modern tournaments. Like, you know, I'd go play 10-man tournament or something like that, but I have no desire to like get on like an xball team and like, you know, fucking play like real tournaments anymore. I just gotta fucking, I don't know. But I want to watch them, you know, I watch like the NXL and stuff like that, so it's not like I'm not into it. I just don't want to do it. Bone Break or Walker. Damn, Bone Break was cooler than Sean Walker. I assume that's what we're talking about. Where's Mark at? Chris? No. He was posting about teams in the airball field being jerks this weekend. Yeah. Yeah. It's also the thing that I talk about often is like, one of the things I think is cool about like some of the other sports that are like extreme sports like we do, right? Like, you know, think about like surfing or skateboarding or snowboarding or, you know, that kind of stuff. There aren't any teams. So I think that in those sports, like they're so individual, you're competitive, but you're kind of competitive against everybody. So it's like even in a way. So you're not like on teams. It's one of the things that happens to the paintball field is that like everybody's on their own team and then like everyone's kind of separated and we're not really talking to each other as much. And it's this weird competitive kind of like atmosphere, which can be good and bad. So it's kind of just depends on who you are. I'm totally over that. I mean, it used to be fun, but I just don't care anymore. So it's like more frustrating to me than anything. But I really kind of having everybody on different like individual teams, I think is kind of like one of the things that kind of makes it wonky. Dustin says, once or twice a month, rec ball players getting into the sport seems like a $200 EMAC is a no-brainer. For sure. I mean, if you're playing twice a month, for sure, you should have your own equipment, I think, by then. Tournaments. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like, you know, I talk about that all the time, but I don't know if I was, you know, in charge back then, if I would have done anything different. So, like, I don't know. We're like, we're running these tournaments. And that's kind of where like, it's kind of like where I totally lost my train of thought. What the hell was I talking about? It's kind of the same thing that happened with like the MPPL. You know, like the MPPL during its heyday, they just lost money all the whole time. Like nobody was making money ever. The MPPL lost money. The whole 7-man time always lost money. WGP spent all their money on the MPPL and then just kind of went broke. Got the smoke machine. I'm just gonna blast the smoke machine. Oh. I feel like it got darker in here from the smoke machine. It's like in a weird spot. It's so warm. Like warm. It's fun. It is kind of weird how like so many people have come back too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the good old days, the glory days. Maybe some of the manufacturers were making money, but yeah, the MPPL. It was just a big, crazy. We're gonna spend as much money as we can, and try to make paintball popular. And it, you know, it kind of worked. You know, I don't know. It. Who knows if it worked? I mean, it was definitely an exciting time. So that was kind of cool. Some brain says there was a time where I'm gonna go with California paintball was a big game. One area's field or stores versus others. There was like store wars back in the day. Remember the store wars? That was kind of fun though, because it was like all the customers from one store would play all the customers from another store on like huge big games and stuff. That was kind of cool. I think those were over pretty much by the time I started playing paintball. James, do I have a discount code? Unfortunately not. No. Nobody really can do them anyway. I mean, I might start one. I was going to talk to them about that. There's like Matt the Gym Rat has one with a Lone Wolf paintball, but it's always on weird stuff. You're not going to get like 10% off Eclipse guns or anything cool. It's like 10% off discontinued pants and like it's like weird stuff. Played in '93. I was watching a video of Chris Hagen, owner of Kick-Ass Paintball Products, that Dan Bocce put on his YouTube. Bocce Paintball, which is a fantastic. Dan's great. He put a video up from, I think it was 1992, of an interview with him at Store Wars. I'd rather you get paid for me buying stuff than getting a discount code. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, I want to do a discount code so that like people enter my code when they buy stuff so that I do get a percentage. Because really, if anybody ever clicks the links in the descriptions, you know, if it goes to BFP Gear and you use that link, I do get a percentage of that sale. But only if you click the link. But if you entered the code, I would probably get it. Kick-Ass Paintball Products. Yeah, they came up because, you know, at one point we had Cap Factory. Cap Factory. Let's go here. Cap Factory. Like this paintball team right here. This is a Cap Factory jersey. That is a Cap Factory jersey. That's an Alex Frage Cap Factory jersey, which is interesting. So Cap Factory. I'm trying to find freaking pictures. There we go. Nope, that's not it. This is a cool Cap Factory picture. So this is Cap Factory before they were Dynasty. You can see pretty much Dynasty in this picture. I mean, you have Oliver, you have Alex, you have Oliver, You have Angel Fergoza, Ryan Greenspan, Alex Fragi, Opie, BC, Yosh Rao. I know those people for sure. It's kind of hard to tell who the people is. It might be Rodney Squires right there. You have Skinny Kevin, SK right in the center. So this is Dynasty or Cap Factory 1999, I think. No. This would have been 2000. Yeah, and at one point Dynasty was going to be sponsored by Cap, and they were just going to wear a bunch of Cap stuff as Dynasty. But JT ended up giving them a bunch of money. Like here's a Greenspan on Cap Factory. A Visity back in the day. Look at this one. That's a cool photo right there. The legend on the left, Marty Bush and Oliver Lang. This right here is literally just one of the best photos ever taken of anybody. It's so cool. I like this so much. Yep, so there's lots of Cap stuff. Yeah, I don't even know who was on the original one. So there were more people. So Eric Roberts and Billy Saransky. So was Saransky on Cap Factory? Really? I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. Back when smoking was cool, for sure. It's just such a cool picture. Doesn't smoking, it just looks cool on pictures, right? Like, it just looks good. It just looks so cool. I'll see if I can find any, like, other old photos that I have in here that are cool. This is kind of neat. Although this doesn't have anybody I really recognize in it even. This is, I mean, Rocky Knuth. This is the Naughty Dogs in 2001. Yeah. I don't know, something Naughty Dogs. I don't even know. Where were they from at that point? Seattle or Portland or something like that? The good old days. This is pretty cool too. This Iron Man picture. I like this one. Billy Wing. There's that dog. Do you think... Oh, yeah, that's right. We have some information on Dave Youngblood's sexual assault case. I should say sexual assault on a minor. Do you think Dye Gear is going to take a dive in resale based on Dave's court case? Nope. Already feel like uneasy in some of the Dye stuff. Have begun to replace it. No. I mean... Maybe with some people, you know, like, I totally forget. And it's like, I don't know, you know, I think that if Dave Youngblood owns the company and it's something that, like, you know, we don't want to support, I could see not supporting Dye. But I think that if Dave Youngblood doesn't own the company, I think that if he doesn't own the company, I don't think that there's any reason to, like, boycott stuff or whatever, because, like, you know, like, there's actual people that work for Dye, you know, like Nick Sloviak, and, like, you know, there's people that work there that have nothing to do with him at all, really. So, I don't know, but I get it all. I get it both ways. And most people don't know, most people aren't like up on that stuff, like people go into the paintball store or just random people, they don't really know all that stuff anyway. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, resale on dye stuff was always really bad anyway. But there was a court date set. I don't have this ready at all, so I don't know. There was a court date set, and then there is no court date because they settled out of court. So there's been a settlement reached. So there's a settlement that the court approved like a week ago or something like that. So it's over, and we're never probably gonna find out what happened. We'll never probably find out what the settlement is. We'll probably never find out anything. I was trying to figure out if we can figure out what the settlement was, and the only way to do it, you can get like a FOIA request. Like you can technically do it. You can like file a request, and then they can like grant your information request or whatever. But unless they release the information publicly, we'll like never really find out. So who knows what happened? I don't freaking know. You can find all the information over on the on Reddit, the paintball subreddit. There's like a thread in there and stuff with like all the stuff and information. But I don't know. It looks like nothing happened except for someone paid somebody something. James says, one thing I feel like paintball needs is more up-to-date gun reviews, like the 180R came out 1 year ago, and that's all you see. No newer good reviews. I mean, you gotta have products, really. I mean, here's someone talking. I don't know what's going on out there. Yeah, I mean, there's just there's nothing under review. I mean, I've done almost every brand new gun review. Every gun that's come out, I've reviewed in the last like 7 years or something. I missed one. The only Planet Eclipse gun I haven't reviewed is the Go5R, or R5. whatever the goddamn thing's called. Yeah, I mean, I think that if there were more products, you'd probably see more reviews and stuff like that. Old Soul, sentimentally is basically a guilty plea, isn't it? I don't think so. I guess we're not technically supposed to say guilty. Like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was fucking guilty, dude. I remember watching those goddamn videos with those kids when I was like their age. When those videos came out of him like doing interviews and being all fucking creepy on those boys, I was like, that is fucking weird. And I thought that shit was weird when I was like 12. So like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that a guilty plea, right? I think that there's probably like two reasons, or not a guilty plea, but a settlement. It's like, you'd probably do that for two reasons. You would do it because you're guilty and you want to just try to settle rather than taking it to a trial, because I think there was supposed to be a jury trial, right? So maybe you can settle outside of court and just take the loss in a way, be like, okay, here's your $1 million or whatever, rather than the jury deciding you owe them $2 million or whatever, right? So it might be a way to just, if you're guilty, getting it over with and trying to get like a better deal for yourself out of it. But it could also be just, let's just get this shit over with. Like, I just get it over with and just pay this person and make it go away. But we don't know. I assume he did something. I don't know. Who knows? How about you want to clear your name of Chino behavior? I don't know. That'd be worth the cash if you weren't guilty of being a chino. I don't even know what that is. Aren't those like pants? Chinos? Like khakis? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about the goddamn legal system or court system at all, so I'm like the worst guy to ask about this. It's not like I'm like, oh, I just got a fucking... I'm a law student. The Miami Rage player? I don't know what we're talking about. Oh. Chino. That's crazy. I saw pictures of him the other day looking for Dynasty stuff, and I was like, damn, dude, he was like jacked back in the day. I was looking at like, 2004 pictures or whatever. And I was like, damn, dude, he was jacked. And he was like old, and I'm like, that's cool. That means I could be jacked like that. But I'm like probably his age right now. And I was like, he's old, Chris, I've opted to settle cases at work because the expense of fighting the case isn't worth it. For sure. That's that, like, I think just make it go away. You're like, well, we don't want to pay lawyers and, like, just make it go away. Well, guys, what am I going to eat tonight? I've been trying to eat so much meat. I'm trying to, like, go meat heavy on all my diet. And I'm so tired of it. I just feel like I eat chicken, like, every day. I don't know. I was like, maybe I'll go get a burrito. But last time I ate a burrito, I felt all bloated and kind of gross. So I don't know. Last night we had breakfast for dinner, which is just delicious. Yeah, I don't know. El Pastor. Yeah, the burrito. I don't know. I mean, because I haven't eaten bread or carbohydrates really, like, other than through fruit in like a couple weeks. And I don't know. Last time I had a burrito, I felt like a couple weeks ago. Nate, are you on a plane? Flying through the friendly skies. Big chili phase. Yeah, I had chili. I made chili like 3 times a couple weeks ago. I was supposed to go make it at a friend's house, and I bought all this shit to make chili, and then like an hour before, they're like, oh, we can't do it now. I'm like, motherfuckers, now I got all this shit to make chili. So I made chili I was making it for 6 people, so I had like 3 pounds of beef, like a whole bunch of food. And I was like, well, I guess I'm making chili for myself. So I made chili, and I had chili for like a week and a half every day. But then that's got like, carbs and stuff, and I don't want to eat carbs really. Just landed in DC. It's freezing. I bet it's freezing. It's supposed to be like 70 degrees next weekend or something. Chili. Yeah, I've made chili a bunch. What I like about it is it's just so easy, right? I mean, you can just make a shitload of chili and just serve it out and put it in the microwave real fast. Bam, you got some chili. I hate spending so much time cooking. Like Saturday, I spent like 3 hours cooking chicken. I was like, God damn. I cooked like, I don't know, a bunch of chicken breasts so I wouldn't have to cook all week. But now I'm like, I don't want to eat this fucking chicken. Meatless chili. No, I want like full-on meat. Full-on meat chili. Just meat. I'm just gonna have ground beef in a pan and just eat straight ground beef. Oh man, the ground beef. I do have ground beef. It's in the refrigerator. It's in the freezer. That means I gotta like take it out and defrost it. All right, I'm getting out of here. My stomach hurts all of a sudden. Like I gotta go poop, I think. Give the live stream a like before you go. Make sure you like the live stream. You know, it's helpful to support this channel. Check out bfpgear.com. There's some links in the description. Maybe go check out the Paintball Ruined My Life store, where you can find, you know, cool headbands like that. There's cool barrel covers, like said barrel covers right there. Barrel covers are $7, which, you know, is kind of general for barrel covers. There's also a 3-pack for $15. That's pretty good. Check it out. Paintballruinedmylife.com. You know, there's a bunch of ways to get to the store. Like the stream. I'm with Nate. Like. Yeah. I've had like gas too, and I think it's what was that string? I think that that's a sweet potato. I had a sweet potato. I had to have a sweet potato earlier. Might be it. Anyway, all right, guys. We'll see you next Monday. Monday, the 24th of February. Enjoy at ease.